Hi everyone, in today's lesson you will learn how to interpret a back-to-back stem and leaf diagram. You will also learn how to represent data in a back-to-back stem and leaf diagram. You should be able to do both of these by the end of the lesson. So here we have an example of a back-to-back stem and leaf diagram. Now this is the number of hairdos and it is split into 60s and 70s with a stem running down the middle. So we can see here this allows us to compare two different categories on the one stem and leaf diagram. If you look at the left hand side, we can see that the smallest numbers always stay closest to the stem and they get larger as they go away from the stem, and the same happens on the right hand side. So the question says 10 senior citizens aged in their 60s and 10 senior citizens aged in their 70s were asked how many times per year they went to the hairdressers. The key tells us that on the left hand side the 2/1 means 12 and on the right hand side the 4/8 means 48 times. Part A says one person gets her hair done once per year. In which age group is she, 60s or 70s? So we're looking for what number here stands for 1, and we can see it's the first row and the 1 is on the right hand side, which means that person is in their 70s. For B, for the 10 senior citizens in their 60s, add all the visits together. How many times did they visit the hairdressers altogether? So we're starting with the 3 in the first row, plus 11 plus 12 plus 12 plus 13 and so on up until our highest number, which is 49, and that should give us a total of 232. Notice how it's left blank here. That just means that nobody went 50 times in their 60s. Part C says do the same for the 10 senior citizens in their 70s. So we start with 1, add 13, add 15, add 22, all the way up till the highest number, which is 52, which gives us an answer of 278. Question D says, who went more often, the 10 in their 60s or the 10 in their 70s? Well, we can see it's the 10 in their 70s because the number is higher. 278 is higher than 232. Okay, moving on to constructing a back-to-back stem and leaf diagram. So the question says, draw an ordered back-to-back stem and leaf diagram showing the details about the height in centimetres of the players in two football teams. We can see as well all of these numbers have 3 digits. Now remember, you should only ever have 1 digit in the leaves representing each data point. So the stem is going to have to hold 2 digits. Starting with our title here. This is the heights of football players. And down the middle, we're starting with our smallest numbers, which is in the 130s, up to our highest number, which is in the 180s. The key tells me that 14/8 would read as 148 centimetres. Okay, so that is my stem. Now I'm going to put a heading on each side. The left-hand side will be for Pollock and the right-hand side will be for Ashfield. Now remember, like in the last one, we're going to make sure that the smallest numbers stay closest to the stem. So starting with any numbers in the 130s, I'll fill out Pollock, so 132, so the 2 would go in the leaves and the 9 would also go in the leaves. Then for Ashfield, doing the same thing. For Pollock, the 140s, and for Ashfield, the 140s. For Pollock, the 150s, and for Ashfield, the 150s. Then we're going into the 160s, making sure that I keep it ordered by keeping the smallest ones closest to the stem. Okay, so that is my ordered stem and leaf diagram. Part B says find the modal and median heights of, first one, Pollock. So the modal one, remember the mode is the one that appears the most. So for Pollock, our mode would be 157 centimetres, as that is the one that appears the most. The median, well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, which means 6 must lie on either side of the median. So if I count in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the median must lie between 157 and 157, which would just need to be 157 centimetres. For Ashfield, the mode is the one that appears the most. We can see that 175 is the only one there to appear twice, so the mode is 175 centimetres. And again, we have 12 numbers, which means we need to go on 6, and it would lie between 162 and 167. So we add them together and divide by 2, which gives me a median of 165 centimetres for Ashfield. Write a few sentences comparing the mode and the median of both teams. So what can we say about the mode? So the mode is higher for Ashfield. And what does this say? Well, the mode is slightly skewed here, so that's another thing you would maybe want to mention. The mode sits really towards the top end of the data, so it's not really a good representation. The mode sits more to the middle for Pollock, which is a better representation. The other thing that we know is that the median is also higher for Ashfield, and the median is definitely more in the centre of the data for Ashfield. The same with the median for Pollock.